Welcome to this very special Trek Long Island edition of Strange New Pod. I am your Fleet Admiral and host, Julian Brown, joined by the best bridge crew this side of the Long Island Railroad. We have Captain Girafe, or Captain T'Pring.
I mean, yeah, it's Captain T'Pring today.
Captain T'Pring today, it is a mood. And I'm also joined by Lieutenant Commander T'Pring.
Yes, you are.
This is very weird. This is a very weird away mission of Star Trek. Also here, who will not be speaking, is Chris, whose theory that Girafe and Emcee are the same person is not being helped right now by them both being T'Pring.
Two T'Prings, two eras, two murderous moments.
Two murderous moments, I like it. So we're here at Trek Long Island. We've been here for a few hours now, and it has been a fun experience. What has been going on? Are you guys having fun?
Definitely having fun. I definitely enjoying people liking my costume so much because I spent so much time working on it. This wig is a little heavy, though. Girafe's headpiece, which people can look up on her social to see what it looks like, it's probably heavier.
Yeah, it's pretty heavy. But
it doesn't look like it would be heavy because you have the headband going.
Well, I have like the headband, so I have like 4 headbands, 2 crowns, fake hair.
Oh, the fake hair, right?
There's a bunch of stuff like hanging with.
Yeah.
You know.
Yeah.
A lot of gumption and glue and prayer
love and giraffe love.
And like
So to give a quick rundown, it is Saturday here at Trek Long Island. We started the morning too early. I picked you up from the train. You took the train. You did it, and you did a good job.
I took the train in New York. I survived.
You did,
after
and you did a great job. And
I've slept 3 hours in 48 hours. It's fine. We're fine.
It's fine.
Good.
It's fine. It's been really fun so far. We did a 10 a.m. panel with a bunch of Trek podcasters. It had no host, so our good friend Matthew from Trek Untold took the job and hosted that. That was a lot of fun. We got to hang out with the good folks at Women at Warp, Sci-Fi Sisters, the big sci-fi podcast, which is both Sci-Fi Sisters and Big Sci-Fi Podcast are part of our friends over at Trek Geeks Network. So that was cool hanging out with them as well as Women at Warp. Great panel there. And then I'm just going to dick around a little bit because this is such an unofficial show that we're going to be putting out. I'm going to share some fun little stories. So a few months ago, Girafe, you went to Star Trek Day.
Did I?
Did you?
Yeah, I
think
did.
You did. And you got me this.
An engraved water bottle. Yeah.
And it's beautiful. And you don't go to the post office.
Sorry?
You don't go to the post office.
I don't go to the post office because American post office is very weird and confusing. So I don't post stuff.
Anyway, it's been a few months and I finally have it and it's awesome and I love it. So thank you.
It's almost been a year.
Has it already?
I mean like September to May.
Oh God. Yeah. Okay. All right. And you got me for my birthday. The away mission Strange New Worlds jacket. I'm very appreciative. Emcee, you and I did some lunch. That was fun.
Yeah,
yeah. We did. And we've been manning the table, talking to some people. What is the favorite cosplay that you've seen so far?
I've seen some good Klingons, but I might be a little biased. The favorite cosplays I've seen have been the one that giraffes have been wearing because her Strange New Worlds T'Pring is amazing. And this morning she did the Enterprisian, and that was just chef's kiss.
It was chef's kiss. I'm really sad that mostly people did not know what it is.
Say most people didn't know who I was, except Bonnie Gordon, who was so happy.
By the way, Bonnie came by our table and took a pic. She's awesome. We always love seeing Bonnie. Okay, Emcee. So I had Matt on earlier. You're going to hear that segment later on in our Trek Long Island special. But I asked him about the diner recap last night, and I'd like a play-by-play about your food experience. I think you may have hit the wrong button on the replicator.
Well, it's an American diner where it's just all of the food, you can fit onto a plate. And in particular, I ordered something that was just called the country chicken. And it was just chicken breast with, cranberry sauce and stuffing. And I'm like, that sounds really good. They brought out this ginormous plate with 2 whole chicken breasts.
stuffed with like whatever in
Yeah,
there.
it was like a cornbread stuffing. It was really great, but
You could have fed the whole table.
I could have.
You and
yeah.
Matt could have fed the whole
Yeah.
table with your chicken and his chicken parm. It was an experience. Like, I wonder if, like, people on Trek, when they go to the holodeck, go to, like, American diners for the food experience, because replicator food's
And
not
I mean,
so
like
good.
that was just the main. That didn't include the fact that it came with soup and salad and dessert.
That's
as
right.
well.
That's right. And they gave us free wings.
And free wings.
Free
yeah.
wings. So it's been an experience. I saw a really good, and I believe they're one of the storefront owners, a great 7 of 9 walking around.
Yeah.
What's the best that you've seen so far? Besides you guys. 'Cause you guys
I was gonna say
you guys kind of take
to
the
bring-
cake.
I've seen, well, maybe some people know them from Twitter, Deep Space Airman, Butch Vulcan,
Yep.
who made A Strange New World Spock uniform by hand.
It looks so good.
It looks incredible. And the whole process is on Twitter. And I love looking at cosplay process. So, yeah, I think it's the best one I've seen.
My
Except
friend,
us.
My friend Jan is, I think, maybe one of the first Pelias.
Yeah.
And I love seeing that. I love when anybody puts on a uniform. That's always, just fun to have people, like, that's why it's cosplay, because people are playing in costume. But when people put in, like, the extra little touch of, like, painting themselves gold so that they're Data, or putting on the
Right.
ears so that they're Spock.
There's an amazing data going around.
Is there? I've yet to see. Okay,
yeah.
cool.
I think that's
Nice.
why Data was in my head, but I love when they go for a specific character, because it just warms your heart. It's just like, you are that character.
All right, so we're going to be doing a few of these updates throughout the weekend and kind of compiling this into a little bonus pod for everybody. But I'm going to ask you two a very important question right now, since this is going back to Spock Amok and Amok time. Which one of you, not as like the actual character to bring, but to bring Girafe, to bring Emcee, if you had Lirpas, which one of you would win? Like, who's got the more flexible cosplay right now?
The more flexible. None of us. None of us. None of us.
But one of you, it has to
We
be...
can't bend our heads. I'm wearing pants, so I'd say maybe me, but no, I have heels. You have flats.
You're corseted, and I've got flats. So
I'd say Emcee because she's wearing flats.
So MC's taking round 1?
Yeah.
Okay. All right. Now, what about if you were in your Enterprisian and she was in her Tendi from tomorrow?
Oh, then it's me all the way, because I'm an Orion pirate.
Yeah.
Okay.
But
I
then
accept
if
that
I
answer.
become Vindicta,
That's true. If you're Vindicta, then
We'll have to revisit this tomorrow when you're in those cosplays, because I like this idea of you two like duking it out as your cosplay
why do
characters.
women have to fight each other?
Hey, I'm gonna do.
and technically, Strange New Worlds T'Pring has not committed murder,
Not
attempted
yet.
murder
And
yet.
I would
so
ask men these same questions. It's not a women thing. I would ask men the very same thing. It's just because it's cool. And Lirpas and Melissa Navia and
Lirpas.
Ortega's Lirpas. I'll kill you. I'll hit you with a Lirpa. So, all right, guys, we are going to take a break. When we come back, I sat down with Matt, as I previously mentioned, one of our awesome Patron Collective members. He gave us an update about what he's doing at the con, and we're going to talk with a lot more people throughout the weekend. So stick around. We'll be right back. Hey, we're back. We are at Trek Long Island in Hauppauge. This is New York. We are in beautiful Long Island. I am here with one of our awesome Patron Collective members, Matt Harker. How you doing, buddy?
I'm doing great. This is my second con ever, and just taking it all in.
What has been your favorite thing so far as you've been taking that all in?
I would say it's favorite because it was so random. This morning, the elevator malfunctioned.
Oh, no.
And getting to the wrong floor on the way to breakfast, David Ajala stepped in.
He has a habit of being at the right place at the right time. Last year in Chicago, he just ran into everybody walking the vendor hall floor. I think he secretly likes to be among the people. Yeah. What else you been up to? What's going on here?
Oh gosh, all the merch. I found books I haven't seen in more than 20 years. Got a couple copies of Death in Winter and Vendetta, my favorite Trek novel of all time from like 92. I picked up myself and Tara, also on the pod, picked up one of two, each of us got one, limited edition Borg cubes.
Oh, from the Eagle Moss ones, right?
Yes,
yeah,
yes.
Those are really nice. So they have, we were talking about it, we were making the dick jokes, right? About the big D. They had they had the XL.
Everybody loves the D.
Everybody loves the D. They had the XLD there. I'm still debating if I want to spend the 175 on it. It's a lot.
Fernanda got DS9, which was 165, I think.
That's a better price, in my opinion. Yeah, the vendor's hall, it's small, but it's got good shit in there.
There is a lot of good stuff. I was shocked. Compared to the previous con I was at, this is a way better vendor presence.
Yeah. How about food and drinks? Are they flowing both ways? Is it good, decent, could be better?
Last night, yes. Today is just hustle. So
yeah, dude,
I'm a bit dehydrated.
Dude, share the diner experience from last night and the plates that we got.
Oh my gosh,
that was freaking wild.
I mean, I live in Philly, and unfortunately, COVID has killed most of our traditional diners.
Yeah.
And, you know, a Philly diner is nothing like a South Jersey diner or a New York diner. And my portion of chicken parm over pasta was crazy big, but poor Emcee.
Oh my God, Emcee got enough to feed the children.
When her meal showed up, her eyes just about bugged out of her head. Fernanda, when her meatloaf showed up, she just shook her head. She's like, "There's no way I can barely even scratch the surface with this."
I felt like I made the right decision with my turkey Reuben and my soup, and it was just like the perfect amount of food, but it was absolutely wild.
What I am looking forward to, though, is the cheesecake that we all got to go last night is still sitting in the fridge in my room.
Some people have gone and eaten their cheesecake already. Some have waited a little longer to do so.
No self-control.
No self-control at all. Well, what else you got going on? I think we talked about off mic. You're going to go do Odette Fair. You're going to go do a photo op.
Fair with the Dadmiral and Doug Jones tomorrow.
Nice.
Yeah.
So having a great time.
Absolutely.
Awesome.
Yeah. And I've got to do a lot more of this.
Yeah.
2 under my belt, and we'll keep it going.
That's awesome. Well, hey, man, good to have you come on the pod for a few minutes, and we appreciate you, being one of our Patron Collective members, supporting the show, and also supporting us at the convention and manning the table for a little bit. So
happy to do it.
Yeah, thank you. Good stuff. We'll see you later. Hey guys, Fleet Admiral Julian here, and I just wanted to say we are back from Trek Long Island, the first ever con that they put on there. As you can imagine, we're pretty wiped. It was a great weekend. It was awesome to spend so much time with some of our amazing Patron Collective members and listeners. Just such a good time. It was great to see Girafe, and it was great to see Emcee in person. We got to record some things. For a first year con, they did a really good job, guys. But of course, there's some hiccups, and just because of the way conventions go, sometimes you have plans to do more than you have time for. We had some plans to record a few more things at our table throughout the convention. It unfortunately didn't end up happening. As we did photo ops, we did lunch, we did drinks with some of our collective members that we don't get to see often. So as you can imagine, time ran out. But we did get to record our awesome TNG one-hit wonder villains panel, and I'm going to present that to you guys now. Unfortunately, we weren't able to do our slideshow that Girafe put such awesome work into, so we've decided to put that slideshow into the video for that panel. So without further ado, this is our panel from Saturday night at Trek Long Island. It is our TNG one-hit wonder villains panel. Do they belong, or do they have a place in New Trek? We went through all 7 seasons and picked out some awesome villains for you guys to choose from. We really hope you enjoy it. Here it is. Welcome to this Trek Long Island bonus edition of Strange New Pod. I am your Fleet Admiral and host, Julian Brown, alongside the very, very best bridge crew.
The very restricted bridge crew.
I would say that we are a weekly Star Trek podcast that discusses the past, present, and future of Trek, but you guys all listen to us already, so we are very happy to have you here. Today, we are going to be taking a look at one-hit wonder villains in the Star Trek universe, and if they possibly have a place in the new era of Trek. But I obviously need some help. I have my help here. And who better than my wonderful crew? First up, we have the newest member of the Strange New Pod crew, a member of our Canadian contingent, Lieutenant Commander Emcee T'Pring. You are here tonight. Woo! Everybody give Emcee a round of applause.
Whoop, whoop, yeah, whoa. What a crowd.
What a crowd.
It's our chat come to life.
It is. It is literally the chat come to life. And I gotta get
somebody that needs to do the random guy that comes and try to sell stuff in the chat.
Right.
I mean,
like
who
the
knows?
spammer.
The door's
like
open.
somebody's gonna enter.
I gotta get my right hand man back.
I need my right hand man back. Get your right hand man back. You know you gotta get your right hand man back. You gotta put the button to the letter, but the sooner the better to get your right hand back.
She brought me all the things that she has for me. She brought them all in her suitcase. Finally, my lovely water bottle, my Strange New Worlds jacket. That's right. She couldn't put it in a box at the post office, but she brought it to Long Island. It's Spotted Giraffe with one F. Round of applause.
Yeah. So many people.
Also a T'Pring.
Also a T'Pring.
A pair of T'Prings.
That's a pair of T'Prings.
Yes.
That's a tongue twister. I would say welcome to everybody, but we all know you already.
Yeah.
And I would also tell you guys to tell us a little bit about yourselves, but we don't need to do that.
Yeah. We could just get right into it.
We could get right into it. It's only appropriate that we, as we're doing this panel, right, for TNG one-hit wonder villains, but we got to take a look at who's come already, like all the big guys.
Guess who's back again?
So, first up on that list, we have the Klingons.
Yeah.
Duh.
Can't get rid of them.
Can't get rid of the Klingons.
I mean, except in Discovery season 4.
Well, let's talk about the Klingons. Do we have a favorite era of Klingons?
Deep Space Nine.
Deep Space Nine. All
Hard
right.
Talk all the way.
I'm gonna be very. I know people are gonna hate me for that, but I really like Discovery's Klingon.
So you can leave the panel.
Well, can I say why at least?
No. Yes.
They are truly developed as a culture. And they're something else than just blood, battle, honor, glory. The costumes are absolutely insane in Discovery. Mm-hmm. And that first episode, when you see that ship and when you see the Guzma and all this, is so culturally rich. And what they did with the comics after that is super interesting. And I think the TNG Klingons were a little bit, let's not talk about TOS, but a little bit like,
There are Klingons in TOS? Was that a thing that happened?
So no, I like their style. I think they're beautiful in Discovery. Beautiful. And truly aliens also.
Klingons. You said Martok.
Yes.
Yes. I just watched that great episode where Worf and Jadzia go after Martok's been rescued. And Martok's like, I'm going to take the Return into battle. I want you as my number one. And Martok almost kills Worf. It's a great, and that's when he joins the House of Martok.
When he's like all PTSD.
Yes,
and
exactly.
Klingons don't believe in PTSD.
No, they don't. So what I forgot to mention is that we're starting with Discovery. So we saw the Klingons. Obviously, they were season 1 in the Klingon War.
See, I read the outline.
I'm so proud of you. I'm so proud of you. You know who else showed up in Discovery season 1? Section 31. They show up at the end of season 1 and a lot in season 2. Mm-hmm. What's going on with Section 31? They were a big deal.
Yeah.
I'm less interested in Section 31 because they don't have cool costumes.
They wear tight leather. They wear tight leather.
Not good tight leather like the Vulcans do.
BDSNP.
Indeed. I'm happier that we're getting the Section 31 movie. Like I'm stoked for Michelle Yeoh. I'm stoked for maybe are we excited that maybe Ash Tyler might show back up?
Again, people are gonna hate on me, but I would like to see him
again.
Like, oh Chris,
Chris showed up. No, you can't be sneaky, sir.
No sneaky.
No sneaky. Oh, man. So Section 31, they showed back up. A huge arc in Season 2 of Star Trek Discovery. They almost ended the universe. It was fun.
Yeah.
It was fun. But because of that, we got Giraffe's favorite finale ever. So,
Yes.
can't complain there. Let's talk about Strange New Worlds. You know who showed up in Strange
I
New
like
Worlds?
the fact that you're checking my slides instead of the outline.
Guys, can we
They're
Look
beautiful
at that. They're
slides.
beautiful.
just appreciate what you guys would have seen?
My GIF game is
Slides.
like really good.
They will be in the video. So who showed up in Strange New Worlds? Baby got Gorn. The Gorn showed up. They showed up.
It's the Gorn.
What do we think about the Gorn showing up in Strange New Worlds?
I'm still waiting for the Arena Gorn to show up because I think that's still a one-hit wonder.
Are they going to show up?
I can only hope.
Do you think we're going to get like the Arena Gorn and the Strange New Gorn in like a weird Gorn civil war?
That would be cool. Like, I'd be here for that. Like, not gonna lie.
Gorn wedding.
Gorn wedding. Gorn wedding. Gorn wedding.
Well, I mean, hey, mentioning the Gorn wedding, the Gorn have to exist in that form because they show up in that form in Lower Decks.
It's true. It's true. Also, Girafe.
Yes.
Romulans. Beware Romulans.
Can I say that
Bearing
I did
gifts.
2 beautiful slides about the Romulans, and especially the second one. I had a lot of personal interest in doing that.
Of course it's beautiful. It has Romulans in it.
Yeah, I mean, Romulans are the best opponent. I will say it over and over again. They're the best villain in Star Trek. Fight every single one of you. They're smart. They're psychopathic. They have resources. They have really interesting politics. I'm looking, by the way, at that Star Trek Politic podcast.
Yes.
And I hope that they're going to speak about the Roman Star Empire because what a mess.
They're already posting
Glorious
some
mess.
great like political things to go against the bad side of politics. It makes me very happy.
Just in case anybody hasn't heard of this is Mary Trump
Yes, Mary Trump
is doing a Trek Politics podcast.
called Trek Politics, and it's going to be pretty freaking dope, I think.
Yeah.
And the Romulans are also the villains that we have since TOS.
Yeah.
Consistently.
Yep.
And so, yeah, let's go.
Tomalak. We got Tomalak. This is a TNG panel, technically. Tomalak. But Girafe, keep going because we also got Romulans
in Picard.
and Picard.
Please, my friend. Choose to live.
And again, I know people are gonna hate this. Is it's just the only things where like people are gonna get mad at me, but
Narek.
I'm super interested in the Romulans in season 1. I think that
Anti-Ramna.
creating the Coat Milat was such an interesting move. It gives to that civilization that was only a little bit like the Klingon, you know, like this, like we're secretive and we're like murderous, and like you see. No culture is monolithic, right? No people is monolithic. And you see that there are variants and that they believe in different things. And you have these cults. And the fact that the Coat Milad goes all the way to like, the 32nd century is so interesting. So, and we have Narek and we have Elnor, which are like 2 eye candies also. So I'm not mad.
Why?
What?
Why are you leaving out the most important person in this conversation?
Narissa.
Thank you.
She's not dead. We will
True.
see her back.
She
lives.
No body, no death. No body, no death.
Yep.
Show of hands. Is Narissa alive?
Yes.
Yes for yes.
Oh my God.
Hands for yes. Leave them below for no. Y'all think she's dead? Wow, shame on you. Shame on all
There's
of
nobody.
you.
There's nobody.
Brutal.
You can. She's a Romulan.
She
Come
is.
on.
She is. There's no Harry Kim either. No, that's true. MC, did you want to touch on the Romulans either from Strange New Worlds or Picard at all?
What Girafe said.
That's the best answer. I am going to put you
And
on.
they have cool costumes.
They do
have
cool
They
costumes.
have amazing costumes.
Yeah, TNG aside, I mean.
TNG aside.
Shoulder pads. Shoulder pads. Shoulder pads.
Vote Deanna Troy in that Romulan uniform.
mean, yeah.
We like it. Oh, yeah. Right.
I'll
Thank you.
allow it.
I'll allow it. MC, I'm going to put you on the spot. Changelings. Picard
Changelings.
season 3.
Fucking solid.
Changelings, I'm here for changelings. The changelings are just there's so much with them. Like anti-Federation. Like, come on. Like, you gotta love it. And
They're very versatile.
they are very versatile. And again, like, I mean, I already mentioned Martok. Apparently, you know, I'm just really into Gigi Urtzler this weekend, even though I haven't seen him. One of the only good changelings other than Odo is Loss. Because we didn't get many changelings, because the only time we ever see changelings are as other people. So anybody could be a changeling.
True.
Yeah.
Matt is a changeling.
Matt is a changeling.
Matt is a changeling,
Yep.
yes.
Yep.
Yeah, no, it's... And I mean... how good is Vadic?
One of the best Trek villains, I think, in a very long time, taking after her father in a huge way.
Yeah. And I'm also, you know, we were talking about, you know, no body, no death. Changelings can survive in the vacuum of space. She might have shattered into pieces, but maybe she's going to, like...
All right, let's do it again. Show of hands.
Now there are many of her.
Is Vadic dead? Yes or no?
Yes, she's dead.
Yes, she's dead. Raise your hand.
No, she's not dead.
No, she's not dead. Raise your hand.
They don't want
Nobody
to play.
wants to
I love it. Oh, you have no opinion.
I like to wait and see where it goes.
That's a good answer.
Well,
The explosion re-solidified her.
Dude, you're not wrong.
Yeah.
You're not wrong. You're not wrong.
it was just an overkill, you know, like
I love the overkill though. It's actually too bad that she didn't go into the deflector dish, which they made it look like she was gonna do.
Yeah.
That would have
a la
been
Lorca.
Yeah, but that would have maybe kept her alive. So who knows? Who knows? Who knows? Hello.
Hey!
We haven't even gotten to the TNG villains yet, so you're good. Hello.
Yeah.
All right. So, any more on the changelings? I love that they brought changelings into Picard season 3.
No, I mean,
it was awesome.
I remember texting you when the changelings came in, and I said, just shut up and take my money.
Yeah, I think you texted me in all caps.
Yeah.
When they showed up. Yep. The big one that we cannot not talk about, and it's Picard. It's obviously TNG. It's
Prodigy.
Prodigy.
It's all the things.
It's all the things, and that is the Borg. Who's got hot takes? Emcee's got hot takes.
He's not dead. I mean, I know that we're just turning this into who's still alive, but I mean, he's not dead.
This is really the they're not dead
Who
battle.
is not
Sorry,
dead?
guys. Hugh.
Oh, Hugh.
Hugh.
Yeah. Absolutely, Hugh is not dead.
Hugh.
I mean, the Borg, I love the Borg. After these last few seasons of Picard, I would like the Borg to have a rest for a while.
Yeah.
I agree.
But I still love the Borg.
I think my problem with the Borg it's the podcast where I make enemies. That's what is going to happen. My problem
The
with
best way for you to make enemies is at a convention doing a live podcast recording. Did you hear that laughter? They
I
all
don't
agree.
get the joke.
It's just funny, Girafe. Continue. Go on the Borg.
Yeah, the thing is that the metaphor about the Borg have been like used in so many different ways and has been and means so many different things for different people. It's too bad that they're not used anymore as, you know, a criticism of the society or a way for people to identify. I don't know. I feel in Picard, the Borg were just here for the show, and like they didn't make me think, and they didn't make me reflect about like the situation in the society or what I think about what is going on. You know, so
Yeah, I can get that. There's a lot of mixed metaphors with the Borg. Jessie Gender has talked about that quite a bit, and has it's Jessie Gender. She's quite good at doing that kind of stuff. And
Well, what I love about Jessie is I watched so many of her videos and I didn't agree with her Borg take, but it 100% made me think about it. And that's what Jessie does so freaking well. So great video, by the way. I really like and this is, we're not going to go too much off topic about the Borg, but I really like that they continued the Janeway wrecking the Borg story, and we see the repercussions and the effects of that. Like, she is like, the Borg Queen is so battered and broken and
Must be something you assimilated.
What have you done? I thought we didn't need words to understand each other.
Like you see like her teeth like going all the way up her like jawline, and it's like, yeah, Janeway used a WMD on the Borg. Like that's a big deal, and it is a shame. And I think we all agree on this that Kate Mulgrew should have shown up in that season. But
Well,
that's a podcast for another
I still remain
day.
convinced that that's the whole reason the Borg Queen went through with it, is because Janeway's not around, right?
She's looking for Tuvok. She's looking for Misty. Come on.
She is. It's true. It's true. I think that's it for who's already showed up in New Trek. We didn't talk about the Borg and Prodigy too much. Do we want to talk about that episode real quick, or do we want to move on?
I think we can move on with the...
I think we should move on. Yeah. Let's get in to TNG One-Hit Villain Wonders. We're going to go by season. And season 1...
Okay, who would you like to see from season 1? Anybody?
Let's see if anybody got our pick. Villains from season 1.
Thank you.
Who said it? Who'd you say?
Matt said butt bugs.
The butt bugs.
Because it's always butt bugs.
But they were 2 episodes, so they're not a one.
No, they weren't.
They
were only in Conspiracy.
This one, yeah.
They started hinting at it in the previous episode.
But they started hinting at it. They
Oh,
only
we're going on
appeared in
technicalities,
one.
people.
We are.
Oh,
Okay.
sir.
Sir, Madam T'Pring. Let me tell you. Okay, so I've no BS though. Like I went a little personal with my season 1 choice. Arsenal of Freedom. The first.
I don't even remember that episode.
It's a great episode.
And I made the slides.
Thank you. Arsenal of Freedom is the first episode of TNG that I ever saw. And it's the Echo Papa 607 episode, the weird droid things. And Geordi separated the saucer and they almost destroyed the Enterprise, right? So while the Minosians, their own weapon system they were trying to sell, it wiped out their entire civilization. It doesn't mean that, they're killer robots on the road, right? Like they could have taken that somewhere else. We know it was really hard times during the burn, right? The burn made like the Federation like very much went in on itself.
There will be no criticism of Discovery in this room.
That's true. There will be no.
I will fight you.
It's not unimaginable to have people, whether it's the Emerald Chain or other factions, go and activate one of these systems and see these killer robots and be like, this is how we defend whatever dilithium we have left, or we defend our planets from raiders, or so many other things that happened because of the burn. So could we see the Echo Papa show back up? And listen, I think we started writing this before the unfortunate cancellation of Discovery. So we have to think if it gets like TV movies, or maybe if people put up an uproar enough, like future seasons, could they show up in like a flashback episode defending couriers like Michael and Book, or, even the Emerald Chain? What do you guys think about the Echo Papa 607?
I think that Picard season 3 with butt bugs would have been way better. I'm just gonna say that.
Fair.
That's all my take on the Minosians. I don't know, robots. Is it really Star Trek? We have like
God, robots!
Robots are very much Star Trek.
No, I know,
There's
but
a whole
I'd rather-
chapel arc with robots.
I'd rather have like synth, than like
Well, I don't know if I agree with
automatic
that.
weapon systems. It's something that's too real, also.
Well, it is very real,
Yeah.
especially in this day and age.
Yeah.
MC.
I'm trying to remember the episode. I didn't get to watch anything before.
So for the new people in the room, this is what I deal with on a weekly basis.
Hey!
They don't read the outline. They don't do the research.
I read the outline, sir.
But they do a really good job talking out of their ass.
Yeah. Butt bugs.
You gave me like 7 TNG episodes that I had to watch.
You had a 12-hour drive. You could have put the sound on in the background.
What? You are promoting me getting into a car accident by getting distracted by TNG.
Well, you should get a self-driving car then. Just saying.
Okay, season 2.
Well, okay. Let me bring it to the crowd. Does anybody have any opinions? Does anybody remember Arsenal of Freedom? Yeah, go ahead.
Awesome.
Right?
It's an allegory, and I love the episode. I think it's season 1. It's a strong one, and I like the pick.
Do you think that they could show back like?
Self-destructible.
Yeah.
Jordy was captain.
It's
Are
true.
you a plant?
I mean, honestly,
I planted Michelle.
Did he plant you in?
when it comes to the one-shot characters, I mean, this is gonna be like kind of a cop-out answer. It's like, if you give me a good story with any of these characters or any of these species or whatever, yes, bring them back. You've laid out a great story to bring them back. It's like, yes, I would like if
we all want to write for Star Trek, by the way.
We all really do want to write for Star Trek.
Well, let's talk about another good story then. Let's move to season 2, Nagilum.
Is there any reason for not believing this Nagilum?
From Where Silence Has Lease.
Yeah.
I love so bad at making that slide because I went and just wrote Nagilum Star Trek and the most insane GIF and random pictures like that thing peering into the.
We all know the exact picture that showed up.
Nagilum. So Nagilum's an interesting one, right? Because, I mean, what if a floating face showed up in the past, right? Like Captain Pike in the Enterprise, just ran into it. And we've already seen this in the Elysian Kingdom.
That's what I was going to say. It's very Elysian
Go off
Kingdom.
on it,
yeah. When I watched Elysian Kingdom and the Nebula and so on, I was like, is that Nagilum? I hope not. But sentient nebulas is such a thing in Star Trek. I feel that it was the unbrewed, unbaked idea that appeared in TNG and was refined and bettered in all the other series. I mean,
I think Nagilum is Lower Decks all the way.
I would watch that.
Oh, and that's my next question. Would Nagilum be kind of the perfect opportunity for a Lower Decks cold open, like Mariner giving Nagilum some more sass?
Exactly. That's exactly how I see it.
Yeah. Okay. All right. I do want to say, finally, with the teases of Star Trek Legacy, 50,000 signatures, we can't not talk about it. We've already seen Q back. Could Captain Seven, Raffi, Jack have their own dealings with Nagilum, right? Nagilum can kill people in just a thought. We see this in the episode. He fucks around with Worf. Sorry, we are a swearing podcast, so that did come out. There's no children in the room except for Fefe. Kidding. I just saw, you were the first person I saw. I love you.
That's why making Star Trek Prodigy reviews is so hard.
It's really hard when we do our Prodigy reviews because we do
Prodigy
PG.
reviews and a lot of bleeping.
But this could be a really cool opportunity because, in that episode, it's not just the crew the Enterprise is messing with. I mean, it is the crew, but this is a Worf episode too, and they show the reproduction of the Yamato, and he's really screwing around with Worf because Worf's in his warrior rage. There's so many cool ways, Nagilum could mess around with Seven, in her Borg stuff. Could mess around with Jack and him, Nagilum knowing Picard. Go ahead.
I'm gonna throw that out. All right, and I'm gonna do it once. But right now, when Discovery is gonna be over, except for the animation Star Trek, it's all gonna be rehash of former Star Trek. And I do think that as we enjoy the new crew, discovering Janeway, not knowing and not having a new TNG or and how TNG was not a new TOS, I do think that I'm gonna say the younger generation, and I hate saying that because I'm young at heart, right?
You are young, Girafe. Come on.
Need to have a crew that is a new crew and their crew. And I love Legacy, I'd love to see Seven, and it's good. But can we not be so Hollywood that every single Star Trek is just gonna be old actors? I'm so sorry, but so sorry.
You're not sorry. You're not sorry.
But it's true. Discovery brought so much new people to Star Trek. I have to say, Picard, if you have never watched Star Trek, it's super hard to follow season 3. You need to study. You need a PhD in Star Trek, just to be able to follow. Yeah. For real. And I do think that if it's Legacy and Section 31, we need to get the new Star Trek, new crews and new characters that we're gonna love outside of animation. And I love Star Trek animation, but please give us a new Star Trek.
Just going off what Girafe said, in terms of bringing back Nagilum for Legacy, I mean, I totally get the idea. I could see it happening, but also, if we're gonna get Legacy, they do need to create their own villains for it, because It can't all be Jack Crusher, basically Jack Picard.
Playing the greats, right?
Yeah.
Yeah. Agreed. Should we move on to season 3? Because I know.
I don't even remember what.
I know MC's got opinions on this one.
I have opinions on this one.
So we're going to talk about Kivas Fajo from the Most Toys. Yes.
That GIF was gold.
Yes.
I
That
wish we
GIF
had the
was
slides.
so gold.
You guys are just going to have to watch the YouTube replay for the slides. That's all I'll say.
It's a lower decks GIF.
And there'll be video.
Anybody thinks? Anyone knows?
Giant Spock?
Miglimo.
Why couldn't they leave Data alone? He just wanted to feel.
Oh, it's me. Oh,
like-
do I just show people real quick?
Poor Dada. He just wanted
He
to
just
feel.
wanted to feel.
There he is. We're doing slides on the phone because our tech would not work. Yeah, yay. All right, so many stories that could be told with Kivas Fajo, right? Especially with characters introduced in seasons 1 through 3 of Picard. I know we were just literally saying that they should do original villains, but he was just like obsessed with having Data, right? But he must have broken out of prison at some point, right? He's a pretty crafty dude, and found out.
Dead?
No, he's not dead.
They've had the collectors back in Lower Decks,
Lower
but
Decks.
they've turned into such a joke in Lower Decks. You kind of forget that Kivas Fajo is terrifying.
And Soji's out there.
Yes, Soji's out there, and also Kivas Fajo is going around with the knowledge that Data tried to shoot his ass.
That's right. Yep.
Yeah. I actually have an entire episode in my head as to what I would want to do with Kivas Fajo, and it has nothing to do with Data, because at the time I came up with it, Data was dead. I wanted to do kind of, one of these heist episodes with Kivas Fajo, Pel from DS9, and Martis Mazur, also from DS9, Guinan's son, who is like the, they're all kind of got the same vibes going on, like these hucksters. I want them to have a heist and to have Kivas Fajo just end up going super dark.
I like it. And speaking
Son of a bitch, I'm in.
Yeah, right?
Yes.
And speaking of going dark, Girafe kind of would come as no surprise, right? If Kivas Fajo was part of the Borg black market trade, right? During like XBs and what Vajazel was doing to the Borg.
I don't think so.
No?
No.
See, I would think that's something he'd be really into.
Because that dude is like, so we actually spoke about Kivas Fajo when we did the archaeology and paleontology panel. And the thing is that Star Trek doesn't do museums. Just recently, they started doing museums, right? And in Lower Decks, it's basically they're stealing stuff,
Right.
And in Picard, it's propaganda.
Right.
It's
Right.
Starfleet propaganda, right? So there's still no real museum of it's propaganda. It's like when you go to a military museum, they show you all their guns and they tell you, look, the great history, the great people. The curator is an engineer. There's no more curator in the future. So Star Trek doesn't know how to do museums and doesn't know how to do research about the past also, and the collector is this theme that comes back again and again and again and again and again. It's that everything is actually in private collections. And he's a private collector. He collects for his own enjoyment. He doesn't collect because he wants to preserve, he wants to share with people. And I don't, if going in the black market for the Borg would be, the ex-Borg, would be actually doing it not for his own pleasure. And is that kind of collectors, and you see them today also,
Right.
but just keep their things for themselves and because they want to secretly enjoy it.
Yeah, and I did get the impression that he didn't buy any of his collectibles. He stole all of them.
Right.
I mean, it could get into a situation of where he kidnaps, you mentioned Soji, Jack, Seven. How many singular people do we have in Star Trek? Dahl is, there's so many people that, there's also...
I mean, at this point, it's not a collection, it's a human zoo.
Yeah.
I mean,
Okay, we're going dark. Let's go. Hey, how are you?
Takako!
Takako, hey.
Yay! Should we move on from Kivas? Do we have any more to talk to? No. This is an interesting, right? We have Ardra from Devil's Due.
Yes.
Now, I had to rewatch this episode because I had not seen it in a really long time, but it's a weird one, but it could definitely show up in like every single Trek.
Yes.
Listen, I don't remember exactly how the episode go, but I can remember every single dress she wears in that episode, and she serves. Like, she's incredible. When she's sitting in the captain chair with her legs up, like, and like that like night gown that she has, like bedazzled. Absolutely.
But not Vajazzled from Picard. Vajazzle? I forget her name.
Vajazzle.
Vajazzle. You said bedazzled, and I went to Vajazzle.
Vajazzle, yes.
It's such a horrible. It's such a horrible name.
Okay, I was like, what are you talking about?
So,
I'm not crazy.
Ardra,
most of the time.
Obviously, Strange New Worlds can't have Q. They could have her.
They could. They absolutely could.
Yeah.
It was holograms. It was holograms and transporter technology, and I think she was immortal. No,
she's a con artist. Yeah, she just used technology.
But then, how did they have 2 centuries of peace?
She made up being that person.
Huh?
She just like shows up
But
and be
did
like.
she?
I watched the episode like 2 days ago, and I was still confused.
I mean,
about...
but here's the thing. But did she? Like,
yeah. I mean,
she's a Q.
Data made the point. Like, sir, they did have like 2 centuries of peace. She did live up to her word.
I think she's just a con. It's like, you know, when like you get like your cards read, like there's always like something that are right.
Yeah.
Like I think she's just like surfing on the thing.
or again, I point out Lower Decks.
Lower Decks. Lower Decks is the
Outconning the
answer to
con
all
man.
the TNG
Yes.
one-hit villains. Yes. Speaking of one-hit villains, we went to season 5, and this is a bit of a controversial one because they were actually just featured in the trilogy of books, the Coda trilogy, that destroyed, much like the expanded universe in Star Wars destroyed. They used the Davidians as a way to destroy the Star Trek expanded universe, right? From Time's Arrow. They were a huge threat. They fed off the life force of those who were dying in fear. It's a weird one because of the Coda trilogy, and that erased the Trek lit versus we know it. Now we get all the tie-in novels, which most of them are good. Rogue Elements, not sorry. But ripe for a comeback in Star Trek, I think. No, like, and Time Arrow is such a good 2-parter.
It
even though
really is.
It's so weird, but it's so good. Any thoughts on the Davidians? Did either of you read the Coda trilogy?
No.
Anybody here read the Coda trilogy?
Gasp there.
Oh, good.
Which other books in the Coda trilogy?
There are a lot of Star Trek books, sir.
It was a good trilogy. It basically
It's okay because you read Second Self, so that's okay.
It featured Wesley like a lot as a traveler, and him kind of
Listen, I'm not like such a TNG like fangirl. Let's be honest.
There is
I read
that too.
every single Discovery book.
It's true. She did. Yep. I guess could the Davidians work in Strange New Worlds, right? We know because of like that they're around because of Time's Arrow. They were in the past.
Time travel. Since my first day on the job as a Starfleet captain, I swore I'd never let myself get caught in one of these godforsaken paradoxes. The future is the past is the future. It all gives me a headache.
Would it work, outside of episodic television like TNG, or could we do something like this with the Davidians?
I think we could do something with them. Yeah, I mean,
Would it be too dark in Prodigy?
I think they're too powerful.
yeah, they're too dark for
I
Prodigy.
think they're too powerful. It's like the Deus Ex Machina. Like then you're like they arrive and like you're fucked basically.
Yeah.
There's no alternative. Like what do you do against these guys? And they're in Star Trek Online.
They are. Yep.
Yeah.
Yep. We keep bringing it up because like we have to because it's more than likely going to happen. But looking at Legacy again, like if this show was serialized, could you do an entire season on the Davidians like feeding off of whole worlds, and the Enterprise's whole mission is to find out a way to stop them from doing that? What do you guys think about that? I personally would love that.
Like that would be. I feel like that would be an interesting one to be able to have an ongoing plot, but then also do it episodic.
Right.
Yeah.
Because I think if we're going to do Legacy, that's how we have to do it.
And again, like, why are you doing, like, what, it's always the thing, is like, if you bring a big villain, like, what's the moral? what am I trying to think about? That's like, for
Right.
example,
There
like
is
in Star Trek Discovery season 4, there was a whole reflection about how place in nature and how we see other life forms and how we don't respect like other things around us, you know?
But what about this? Like no BS here. Like immediately, I go to like the senior crisis and seniors not being taken care of, and the Davidians. Like a lot of people that they were feeding on, like in Time's Arrow, were older people who were on the verge of death. That was taking place in the 1800s, like war veterans and stuff. Our country not taking care of veterans, like things like that.
I have something to point out: the fact that so many people in the legacy time are going to have massive PTSD from all of this Borg shit that just happened.
Borg shit.
That's
It's
what it
always
was.
bullshit. It was. Anything else on the Davidians?
They have cool canes.
They do have cool
Yeah.
canes, serpent canes. Do you guys have any opinions about the Davidians? They're a big deal. Anybody? No? Good.
Didn't pan out great in the Coda trilogy.
Well, no, it didn't. No.
I felt like they were one note there.
They were. It was one hell of a note. And that involved, as these guys have put it, Borg shit.
When Renee came within like half a millimeter of the energy field, and then all of a sudden was a lot older. You know,
Right,
aged,
right.
And Chen like withered away in front of everybody.
Yep.
Spoilers.
If you haven't read the Coda trilogy,
Came out 2 years ago, Girafe. Jeez.
geez, Girafe. You guys get on the Davidians?
Yes.
All right. This is probably one of the scariest episodes of Star Trek ever. And in season 6, I'm going to...
Oh, you have it?
Schisms.
Oh, good job. You get nothing but respect.
We're going to have prizes later. The Solanogen... Did I get that right? Solana...
I don't know. So what you wrote in there's like 15 ways to write it, so I just wrote it as I found it.
Solanogen-based life forms. Those clickers from Schisms. One of the scary episodes of TNG for sure. Maybe a bit too dark for Prodigy, so let's throw Prodigy out of there. They couldn't show up there.
I would also throw Lower Decks out
Yeah,
of this.
same.
because
it's
it's not
like-
it's not serious
yeah.
enough, right? What are some ways that they could return? Because like that's like a messed up episode of
Yeah.
TNG.
I think they could return by being associated with somebody else,
Yeah.
Yeah.
like working with or working for somebody else.
That would be a great way, though, of teaching kids like to not be afraid of their dreams.
I like it.
But
Yeah.
still traumatizing. for
Still
Prodigy. Like, I mean, come
traumatizing.
on.
Right.
The moment where Riker gets like pulled out of the bed from his feet, like it's night terror. It's like it's terrifying.
And he gets his arm cut off
Yeah.
and reattached.
Oh yeah, that too.
Yeah, it's messed up.
Yeah, it's messed up.
It's messed
And
up.
we were watching that as kids. It's incredible. It would turn out all right. I mean, no, yes.
Speak for yourself.
And I mean, other than Lower Decks and Prodigy, I think it could work like in any of the time periods.
Yes,
Yeah, it is
absolutely.
something.
Well, you know, that's where Enterprise. Oh my God, I'm gonna make so many enemies again. That's where Enterprise flirted with the Romulans in, I think, a very interesting way. First, because Malcolm Reed almost died, and that gave me a lot of pleasure, but he didn't. But he got his leg cut off. What is it? Yeah,
Who? Malcolm Reed?
yeah.
Oh yeah, because of the
Because of the Romulans.
the mines.
These
The mines.
guys.
Yep.
Doing God's work. And, you know, like never meeting them, but like brushing.
Right. Right.
Just like
Yep.
they're here in the background, and I think it's like even more terrifying. And then we see like all the plot with the NR. So
Yep.
I think that the Solinogens, whatever her name
You, I
is,
think, said it better than I did, so I'm taking it. Yeah.
I think that would be interesting if they're like in the background of Strange New Worlds,
Yeah.
for example.
Yeah.
Like we know they're here because we know who they are, but they cannot grasp what's going on.
Yeah.
I mean, Pike could just think that it's a fucked up dream and never find out that it's not.
Right. Right. True. True.
I mean,
true,
he
true.
has some messed up dreams as it is, so.
Yep.
We're gonna get kicked out, guys.
Hey, we had to start late, so we were gonna have to wait. Let's move on to season 7, guys. Who else was it gonna be? That's right. Ronan and his candle are back. That's right.
There is somebody walking around here dressed as Beverly from Sub Rosa.
The last time I saw them, they were at the bar. They have the candle.
She has a candle and she's going around like,
Didn't light that candle.
But get this. This time, Ronan's going after Jack. It doesn't have to be all Howard women. It could be the Howard men, too. Thoughts on Ronan coming for Jack? Let's go.
Absolutely.
That'd be hot. I think it's an episode that is so hard to negotiate nowadays. Like, I mean, even you rewatch it now, and you're like, what the fuck am I watching? And you know what's going on. And you're like, it would be super hard to make it into something that makes sense. I think if it was like just scary, you know what I mean? It was not like all that like sex stuff.
I mean,
right.
it could be that. Maybe it's not a seduction this time. Maybe he's just like being really like aggressively going after
or
Jack.
maybe he's being the father figure that he
Oh,
always
God,
wanted.
no. Come on. No.
This could go in so many dark ways.
So many different directions.
And all of them are wrong, and I'm here for it.
But, you know, it's a good thing. Like, there's an episode of TNG. Oh, look at me, like, quoting TNG. With, like, that... the kid, she has imaginary friend who is actually a real person. Yeah. I think like it would be interesting with Ronan that, you know, somebody thinks it's just like an imaginary friend or like, you know, psychosis and is actually really something.
I like it.
And it could be a good reflection on, you know, mental health, for example.
Will you light my candle? Will you?
Does it have to be a candle?
It has to be a candle. Yeah. It has to be a candle. Any other thoughts on Ronan before? Show of hands. Who wants to see Ronan show back up?
Me.
No one?
No.
What's wrong with you?
He's creepy.
Oh, boo.
Yeah,
boo.
he's dead. He's dead.
I think I have a boo soundbite on there, but you can't hear it, so it would be worthless to play. Guys, it would not be an episode of Strange New Pod if I did not put in, and I think I have it somewhere here. No, we're not doing questions yet, Girafe.
Strange New Loop?
Strange New Loop. But I got to find the soundbite. I guess I could put it in
read
post.
the outline. I don't want everybody to know.
Well, I'll put it in the soundbite in post. It is time for the Strange New Loop. This was a TNG episode, but we're going to move forward to Voyager. We're going to talk briefly, very quickly about Voyager, the Crenum Imperium. Yes. 2-part Paramount Plus event featuring the stars of Section 31, Star Trek Legacy, Star Trek Prodigy, Voyager, the beginning, end, or the middle of the temporal Cold War.
Future Man.
With Future Man, the Crenum Imperium. Why is this awesome, and what would you do with it?
And this is one year I'd like to forget. Time's up.
Who wants to go first?
I'm not super into time shenanigan because I can't follow.
Killing the vibe.
I'm sorry. I was really into it when like the temporal, what's his name, showed up in Picard season 2. I was like, oh, they're gonna link it to like
and then it wasn't him. And then it wasn't him.
So something like this, I'd be game. You know?
Yeah.
I'd be game. If it's like a world temporal war, I feel it's like it's so narratively complicated. But if it's like seen from one perspective. Right. From like one random like Starfleet officer and like seeing all the things changing, and we are like the only one able to see it. I'd be game for that. That'd be fun.
All right.
Okay, well, the reason why this is awesome is because you forgot the most important part, since there are temporal shenanigans involved in this. Kelvin crossover.
Crossover. Yes. Dig it. Awesome. I love it. We want to thank you all so much for showing up to our first ever live podcast recording of TNG One Hit Wonder Villains, how they'd show back up in New Trek. It has been an absolute blast. We want to thank our collective members who showed up here today. You all freaking rock. Join us tomorrow at 1 p.m. 1 p.m.?
1 p.m.
Oh, no, 10 p.m., 8
1 p.m.
1 p.m.
We are going to pitch the Kelvinverse Star Trek 4, and it's going to be a blast.
Yes.
We can't wait. So I will
And I
say
think that will actually be in C.
it will be in the right room this time. We promise. Maybe. I'm just looking for my
Fingers
music
crossed.
here. I am going to say goodnight. Thank you all so much for coming. We will have this as a video on our YouTube and as a podcast, wherever you find your podcasts, later this week. So for Girafe, for Emcee, I am Julian. Live long and prosper. Thank you guys so much.
Thanks for beaming into our podcast today. If you want to keep the hailing frequencies open, you can subscribe on Apple and Google Podcasts, YouTube, and Spotify. Like what you hear? Put in a good word with Starfleet and leave us a 5-star review.